Sure. These 6 violations must be addressed immediately, or further action will be taken.
The citations are invalid. We are adhering to all HOA.
Cold air slapped me awake when the motion light clicked on. It was 5:12 a.m., quiet except for sprinklers ticking and a dog whining somewhere down Maple Court. The driveway smelled like wet asphalt and my cheap burnt coffee. 6 bright orange slips glowed under the light like warning flares. Violation. 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 Everyone stamped overnight. My truck sat dead center in my own driveway, tires well inside the apron. Still, 6 fines, back to back, timed between 1:07 a.m. and 4:58 a.m. The numbers made my stomach go tight. A golf cart buzzed past and a shadowed figure peered over a scarf. It was her. Clipboard Karen. The board president. She waved like a queen and kept going. This is the fight, I thought, and said it out loud when I read the top ticket. HOA ticketed my driveway overnight 6 times, too bad I am the sheriff. I wasn't flashing a badge. I was just a neighbor who paid dues and mowed on Saturdays. The slips claimed I blocked the sidewalk. I stared at the gap. 2 feet clear. The date read May 3, 2024. The total fine came to $1,200, due in 72 hours. The letterhead smelled like toner from the clubhouse printer. My hands shook from the cold and the insult. I poured more coffee and promised myself I would do this by the book. I tried reason first. I went to the meeting at 9:00 p.m., sat in the front, and said my piece slow. Karen banged the gavel and smiled thin. We have photos, she said, but didn't show any. A couple neighbors looked at their shoes. One squeezed my shoulder on the way out and whispered sorry. I sent an email that night. No answer. I called the hotline listed on the board. It rolled to a voicemail with chirpy music. Timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. That was from the same number. I had logged it at the time because the call woke my kid. The pattern started to show like a bruise under the skin. I drew my line. I would not yell. I would not threaten. I would use channels that leave a paper trail. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I set a tape measure across the sidewalk and took video with timestamps. I pulled the bylaws and parking rules. I made a public records request to the city for every code complaint in our tract for the last 6 months. The file landed with 63 pages. 12 complaints came from one sender's email, all around 4:00 a.m., all about me and 2 other addresses. I read each line by the yellow light over my sink. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. That sentence sat on the page like a rock. I circled it. I built a plan that didn't need a badge. I invited a city inspector, not from my agency, to come by the next week. I asked a traffic officer from the neighboring precinct to swing through, again not mine. I marked off the driveway edges in chalk so anyone could see clearance. My neighbor Manny set his camera toward the sidewalk with a visible red light. We picked the time Karen liked best. Before dawn. I logged it in my notes. May 10, 4:30 a.m., expected sweep. The air that morning was colder, like the day was holding its breath. The golf cart arrived right on schedule, humming like a mosquito. Karen stepped down, pen already out, and started writing tickets from the back of her stack. Then the flip. The inspector and the traffic officer walked up with coffee cups and a clipboard of their own. Morning, ma'am, the inspector said. Just verifying measurements. He laid a ruler across the chalk and read off numbers. Sidewalk clear by 26 inches. No encroachment. Then he pointed to Karen's golf cart. It sat smack in the sidewalk cut, blocking a stroller path. Manny's camera blinked. My door camera blinked. The officer cleared his throat and wrote his own note. You can't obstruct public access, ma'am. Karen froze, pen halfway to the next ticket. She tried to laugh it off. Just doing my job. The inspector nodded. So are we. We took still photos, measured again, and logged the time, 4:37 a.m. By sunrise, the clip was bouncing around our neighborhood chat. Neighbors filmed from porches, in robes, with bed hair. Someone added captions with the chalk lines and the tape measure numbers. A teen edited it with a slow zoom and clown horns. The view count hit 8,000 by noon. People wrote things like who ticket 6 times in 4 hours and that golf cart is the only thing blocking anything. I posted the receipts without drama, the 6 slips, the measurements, and the city notes. The refund requests went in. By dinner, word spread that fines issued that night would be voided. People laughed in the cul-de-sac. A grandma from the next street clapped when the golf cart didn't appear that evening. My phone buzzed like a hive. Evidence turned into action. I delivered the binder to the HOA office. It thumped on the desk. The manager opened it, skimmed, then closed it like it might bite. We set a special board session for May 14th. I didn't speak first. The inspector did. So did the traffic officer. They laid out the facts, times, and measurements. They referenced the 63 pages from the city. The board's attorney cleared his throat and read a short statement about selective enforcement and due process. Karen tried to argue, but the video played on a loop behind her. The board voted 5-2 to rescind my fines, refund all similar tickets for the past 30 days, and suspend Karen's enforcement authority pending review. The city issued a citation for obstruction to the HOA, not to her personally, and recommended training. I filed a complaint with the State Consumer Division, and they accepted it with a case number. The week after, the neighborhood felt soft again. Kids drew chalk arrows on the sidewalk like a little runway. Manny grilled on Saturday and passed me a plate. The night patrol now did a slow roll, no more 4:0 a.m. stakeouts. The HOA installed a big sign by the clubhouse that said new parking rules posted and linked to the updated policy that matched the city code, not Karen's mood. Karen stepped down a month later, citing family time. People stopped hiding behind curtains when they saw me. Instead, they waved. I waved back and went back to being the guy who waters his grass and walks his kid to school. If you ask me what it cost, I'll tell you straight. A week of bad sleep and one binder stuffed with calm facts. Worth it, because peace returned to our little street, and the sidewalk is open for bikes and strollers and old dogs who wander like kings at dusk. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.